Hello and welcome to SATV's International Affairs Talk Show, and I'm, of course, your host, Shamsul Alam Panto. But before I begin today's topics, let me introduce to you my guest for the show. In the studio, we have Ambassador M. Shafiullah, who had served as Bangladesh's ambassador to Libya and held key roles in the foreign ministry, including overseeing Middle East and North Africa relations, and definitely played a pivotal role in repatriation of thousands of workers during the Gulf crisis in 1990. Alongside him, we will have Mr. Raja Faisal joining us from Islamabad, Pakistan, who's also a journalist, a geopolitical analyst, and also a TV anchor for Pakistan National TV, PTV. And in addition, we will have Ambassador Norman Floyd Barnes, who is, of course, a police negotiator and ambassador at Senator's Consultum. Let me begin today's program with Donald Trump. Donald Trump makes remarks on Liberian leadership a couple of days prior, and he said, I open quote, "Such good English, where did you learn to speak so beautifully? Where were you educated?" Trump asked this to Joseph Boakai during a meeting with 5 African leaders at the White House on Wednesday. We know how previously other leaders such as South Africa's Cyril Ramaphosa faced in the White House. Many argue that Donald Trump is a bully. My question to you, Mr. Shafiullah, how do you see this?
It's very politely speaking, very undiplomatic. Visiting head of the state to another country is expected to treat it well and on equal level. Because these are all these two sovereign leaders meet, which is highly, of course, it is very normal for President Donald Trump, as world saw him in his first term, and now world is going through his various sayings, utterances, remarks on the leaders of the other countries. So it is very much expected of him, but it is not standard even in American politics and diplomacy to comment on or face-to-face talk with the leader visiting president of another country.
Let me also get your comment on another question. Recently, we see United States of America and Brazil share retaliatory remarks at the end of BRICS summit. And also, in addition, previously in 2022, Jair Bolsonaro lost the election in Brazil, who was, of course, right-leaning in the political spectrum, whereas the current president, Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, is left-leaning. We know after the BRICS summit, Donald Trump had imposed a special tariff against Brazil, which stood at 50% tariff and has ignited various households in Brazil. My question to Mr. Shafiullah, you see this reciprocal tariff war that is ongoing with America and other 23 states. What is your comment on it? First, I'll go to you and then I'll get Norman's comment on it as well.
See, if we specifically speak about President Lula, again, I would say that Trump was very much unkind to him in various remarks he made ever since he was elected by the people of that country. So, in addition to 50% tariff on Brazil, because it's just purely because of the political relations between Trump and the current president of Brazil. Secondly, it is BRICS. The latest summit was held in Brazil, and President Lula was the host of this important summit, which is President Donald, his perception, this BRICS is against America and against the supremacy of the US dollars in the world, trade and business and reserve. So, although many leaders of the BRICS, they say no, it is not alternative currency to not to remove the dollar from out of the world market. It is their own initiative, not against the dollar of the USA. But Donald Trump is adamant to it, and in addition to his normal tariffs to many countries, but he specifically imposed additional 10% tariff on the members of the BRICS. Of course, he previously threatened any member of BRICS will have 100% tariff any import or export to USA. But this time he came down to 10% on the BRICS members. So for Brazil itself under 50%, now it will additional as member of the BRICS will be 10%. So it will be 60% tariff on Brazil itself. And it so will be the other member of the BRICS countries, 10%. Now you see it is something very unique kind of world trade and business, because he just unilaterally he imposed tax on the countries who are doing export and import with USA. Just unilaterally he imposed the tax, and now he says it bade them to negotiate and at given date. So this is something we are forcing people to come to negotiation table at your own terms and conditions.
Yes.
Now, in the case of Bangladesh, I can mention, or many other countries, it's like that. In addition to this export import, he has two additional condition imposed. One is any country under sanction of USA, under trade sanctions,
Yes.
like in Iran or in Russia or any other country, this you cannot do business with that country. No trade and no investment, nothing. Secondly,
Yes.
secondly, that in any country in future America will impose a sanction, and that country will have to follow that too. That means Bangladesh case, that we have to enter a trade war with other countries which America will enter. So this is something unthinkable in the world today, and it never happened in the past. And I hope after Trump it will not be coming from any quarter, because this is something ridiculous. You just impose the person because you are a powerful country. You just impose the condition on people, smaller countries with a small trade gap like $5 billion. See, this is arbitrary, and that is a sheer display of naked power.
Thank you so much for your insight. Definitely, that comment was giving a summary of America and how it uses and how it vents its power over other countries. Let me now go on to Mr. Norman Floyd Barnes, who joins us from Washington, D.C. Donald Trump's reciprocal tariff gains some spotlight as the date August 1st approaches, which is more retaliatory than reciprocal and insulting to various countries of the globe. In a breaking news, formal letters have been sent to 23 countries, including Canada, Japan, and Brazil, indicating impending tariffs ranging from 20% to 50%. In sectors such as copper, which may face 50% tariff. The European Union and Mexico have publicly criticized these measures as unfair. Mr. Norman Floyd Barnes, how do you feel about this tariff war? I mean, all of these nations can unite amongst themselves to reduce reliance on the greenback. How do you feel about such moves?
Good morning from Washington, D.C. again. The tariffs, what I'm going to characterize as been weaponized. It's being used as an instrument to incite, and excite our trading partners. The goal is to elicit a deal. He's given the date of August 1st before these tariffs will be in place. Brazil is one of our top trading partners. The EU and Mexico hit with 30% this morning. And there's room for a conversation about exactly what the number is going to be. So right now we have a threat between now and August 1st. The point is to see exactly where our trading partners are at and what kind of deal we can make before August 1st. So these numbers we're seeing right now is basically to elicit a response and a countermeasure to deal with this. So yes, the tariffs could go in place August 1st, but I don't see these numbers, these ridiculous high numbers going to effect August 1st. Some deal will be made.
Thank you, Mr. Norman Floyd. Let me also get a compliment question from you. We see Brazil. I was asking Ambassador Shafiullah here as well. Brazil and currently United States are sharing this 50% tariff that we heard about. And of course, The trial for Jair Bolsonaro is also happening, which is also a Trump fan, or if you like to say, has good remarks with Trump. And of course, we knew that after the BRICS summit, any country in support of the BRICS would face an additional 10% tariff. But aside from this, if you look at Donald Trump's policy making, in New York, we have Zoran Mamdani. We have someone who's been actively criticizing Netanyahu's visit to the White House. What is the foreign tensions we see here? What is your comment on the matter, Mr. Floyd?
Yes, this is a very interesting situation that is developing. It shows that the United States, we are a country somewhat divided. We are a country where we have a lot of immigrants. We have a lot of people from different parts of the world. And there's a sense that if you're not following the Western way, meaning, make America great again, you are being ostracized, challenged, some cases penalized. The situation in New York, the situation in other parts of the country, where we will possibly see a Muslim mayor, other type of leaders, is happening around the world. It's not going to stop. It's going to happen. So we're going to have a battle coming up between, again, the grassroots and the progressive new regime.
Well, thank you, Mr. Norman Floyd Barnes. I will, of course, come back to you after another question. Let me go on to more news. There's some drastic news from Israel and Gaza that's ongoing. Israeli forces continue to pound Gaza a day after killing at least 110 Palestinians across the strip, including 34 people waiting for food aid at the US-backed GHF site in southern Rafah. According to the Reuters agency as well, the ceasefire talks in Qatar are stalling amid disagreements over the extent of Israeli forces' withdrawal from the Gaza Strip. My question will now be to Ambassador Shafiullah. This is the greatest humanitarian disaster of the decade. Do you see any kind of deadline to this escalation?
This is not a genocide of the decade. It is a historical genocide. Israel is bombing people who are lined up for food. Starving people has lined up in thousands, in just bare hand, almost a skeleton. They are without food for several days, without water, anything. Just to survive, they have fallen in life in thousands for this handful of relief, food. And Israel is bombing those skeletons of human beings. Moving skeletons are being bombed. It is the tragedy of the century. It is genocide of the century. And in the known history, it never happened. Yes, we understand that the Jews were murdered by Hitler gangsters, but they are in a gas chamber. But here it is a skeleton of people moving, and innocent people.
Innocent children and women and
children and innocent, anything moving on the food land is being bombed. And these are the things. It's a genocide of the century, I should say. It never happened in the past, and I do not know whether it will be repeated anywhere in the world except Israel. And Israeli action is condoned by President Donald Trump. And they had that recently met in Washington at White House.
Yes.
Possibly how to remove all the people from Gaza, all the Palestinians removed from Gaza and to send elsewhere. This is possibly the most cruelest part of the 80 years old Palestinian-Israeli conflict. Yeah. This is, I should say, this is a genocide of the century.
Thank you so much for your answer to this question. Let me get Ambassador Norman Floyd Barnes as well. There has been an American casualty inside Israel and Palestine issue. Let me give you the news. Israeli settlers lynched 20-year-old Palestinian American Saifullah Musalet while U.S. officials stayed silent. Saifullah was born and raised in Florida. He was visiting family for the summer in the West Bank when settlers beat him to death while he protested occupation of illegal land. Now, Mr. Norman Floyd, there's a statement in the U.S. Constitution that says the government shall protect each and every one of its citizens. How do you see this recent shocking event?
Yes, good morning. This is a very tragic event, and my citizen, our Constitution outlines that we are sovereign citizens, and anywhere we go, the government is obligated to protect us. In this situation, it was a example of how the system is failing. We need to do a better job in communicating, following what we do. I know I travel a lot, and one of the things you have to do is register with the embassies and know exactly where you're at, what's going on, check in daily, so we can put tabs on you. And if anything pops up, we can reach you, or you can reach us. But again, this is a very unfortunate thing. This is a sign of the time, what's going on. And as Americans, we have to be very careful how we move around in the world, in particular in this turbulent time of turmoil.
Thank you, Mr. Norman Floyd Barnes, for joining us and giving a valuable insight. I'll come back to Mr. Ambassador Shafiullah. You know that the Iran-Israel war had escalated into a 12-day conflict with much more casualties on the Iranian side than the Israeli side. Much of the Israeli citizens were inside their underground bunkers, and even though the Iron Dome was compelled at the last stage, at the ending stage of the war, a ceasefire was proposed by the US, and both had stopped, of course. How do you see this ongoing issue in the Middle East, given that you definitely have experience in ambassadorial duties?
Well, thank you. You should see this is a continuation of Iran war, is continuation of Trump-Netanyahu joint. They did it during their first term. Also, they work on Iran, how to stop peaceful atomic program of Iran. Iran undergo this process through signing agreement with the UN and Atomic Energy Association,
IAEA, yes.
IAEA, actually approved by IAEA their program, and they have occasional, regular visit to the sites also. This is atom for peace. In many countries of the world adopted this atomic research, atomic energy for medicine also, and for the energy also. This is a peaceful one, subject to the IAEA inspection, which Iran is meticulously undergone. But this attack was that pre-planned between White House and the Trump and the Benjamin Netanyahu to because they thought there is potential danger to future of Israel as a nation. Because this is the country, Iran, consistently opposing Israeli aggression on the state of Palestine. Whether other Arab countries are silent, but this is the only country who are supporting Hamas and Hezbollah also against Israeli
well.
Occupation of Palestine.
Yes.
So it is their concerted efforts to humiliate, subdue, and disarm Iran. This is a huge country, Iran, so they try to dismember also this country several times. Mossad is very active, killing all the generals, atomic energy, experts of Iran. And so the current one is that when they jointly attacked Israel and the US jointly attacked Iran, and then for the first time Israel faced such a devastation from the opponent.
Yes.
Israel Iran could successfully land their missile to on the heart of Israel, which never happened before. Because from Iran, one have to see that there are many barriers to reach Israel.
Yes.
But for Israel, it is so easy to hit here. But in spite of this thing, they did the remarkable thing, Iranian missile, the devastation caused to Israel. And that is the main reason why they hurriedly Trump went to ceasefire, and it was done through
mediation
Qatar.
efforts in Qatar, yes.
Through their mediation, they did it, and both parties agreed to it. And ceasefire is a temporary solution, temporary
it's a pause,
stop, just to recoup their position, reassess their position, is to assess their strongness and weakness, how to recover. This is a recouping period, one should say, in such a situation. So it can be broken any time by any party. So it is there, and there is the true threat also from Trump, that any time any ceasefire or any attack on any Iranian American interest or Israeli interest, America will bomb again. So it is there, and Israel also is just look for any pretext to hit again. So this is will continue, because the two, when the mighty power America is behind Israel, Israel itself is also a non-declared nuclear power in the Middle East. So Iran is the only country which is capable of replying them. So it will continue to like this. Maybe occasionally they will the ceasefire will under attack, and Iran will be under attack on any pretext from Israel and for Trump administration also.
Of course, let me add on to your answer as well. We see UK's Foreign Minister David Lammy is being forced by the Labour Party to recognize the state of Palestine. And of course, UK's courts are in favor, as of recently, are in favor of Israel's policy. Of course, UK being a colonial power, which they were, what is your comment? Why are the Western nations not bringing about a ceasefire as soon as, because as you said, the GHF sites have been seeing innocent women and children being attacked. What is your stance on the Western powers' silence?
Western powers, you see, the Western powers, if you mean the France, Britain, UK, Germany and other European countries, they are all in favor of creating Israel in Palestine. Though it was spearheaded by British, they are the dominant power, then colonial power, and that area was under British mandatory states. But then both America and UK, they wanted to establish Israel in the Middle East, heart of Middle East, to control oil and gas resources of the region. And then other European countries the same. They all supported the establishment of Israel in the land of Palestine, and they sustained Israel. Almost every Western country sustained Israel. Now, because of the public opinion in many countries, including France, because of the genocide Israel carried out, have been carrying out for several decades, including occupying the West Bank. So slowly and gradually in France and Britain, some part of Europe, there is a conscious group that cannot party to this genocide by Israel in the Middle East. That's what. But the policy making process is still there. They are all in favor of establishment of Israel in Palestine, and the two state. Yes, France. Sometimes they say they will recognize British also, but they never did it, because they know that both Israeli lobby as well as the Americans are behind there,
yes,
and the UK also behind this. So it is what we see sometimes is that a popular the thing came on the street and the people say that okay, we recognize or consider the case of Palestine. But to the heart of heart, they want Israel to contain in Palestine. They don't want them in their own country.
Right.
So they thought the Jews, these people they're safe so long they are in Palestine, but not welcome to our own countries.
Definitely, that's very important, insightful comments made by Ambassador Shafiullah here. Ladies and gentlemen, we shall be discussing strategic alliances in South Asia and several updates after a short commercial break. Please do stay with us. Welcome back to International Affairs only on SATV, and of course we are joined today with Ambassador M. Shafiullah, Ambassador Norman Floyd Barnes as well, and right now we are connected with senior analyst and journalist Mr. Raja Faisal, who's joining us from Islamabad, Pakistan. It is an absolute pleasure to have you on our show. Let me look at our region. During the India-Pakistan 4-day standoff, we took notice of the support Pakistan garnered from Turkey, which was important nonetheless. India has started to boycott Turkish products and businesses. Recently, Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan visited Pakistan. What is your take on this falter of alliances? Of course, we do know that PM Shahbaz Sharif had visited Turkey after this escalation.
Yeah, I think it is very important just after the conflict between both Pakistan and India. Of course, Pakistan's Prime Minister alongside Field Marshal of Pakistan, Sayyid Asim Munir, both of them, they were in Ankara in Turkey. And over there, of course, many of the alliances were further enhanced between both of the countries. And when we talk about this very visit, last week's visit, it was not only Foreign Minister of Turkey who was present in Pakistan, but of course Defense Minister as well. And this is to tell the region that both of the countries, the alliance, the military alliance of both of the countries and military cooperation of both of the countries, it is going to further enhance itself. When we talk about India, we know that only 10 days ago, there was a statement by Lieutenant General Rahul Singh, who happens to be Deputy Chief of the Army Staff of India. He himself said, I mean, he was confused. I mean, while I was watching him, I was laughing a bit as well. The reason being, he started with that we were not only fighting against Pakistan, there were two adversaries. And then suddenly he said, no, I think there were four adversaries. Oh, no, there were three adversaries. So when we talk about India knowing the facts, the ground realities of the conflict between Pakistan and India, whatever happened in May 2025, still they are confused about it, what has actually happened to them. So this is quite astonishing. A country like India with a massive military and their presence in Kashmir is one of the most militarized zones in the world. Still, they are so confused about how they were being faced by so many of the adversaries. Though there was only one adversary, that was Pakistan. Border contention happens to be Kashmir. And then when we talk about both of the countries, this whole conflict was actually initiated by India itself, not probing Pahalgam attack and then straight away coming towards Pakistan. So in this whole episode, Pakistan had the moral position, and Pakistan kept on saying that Pakistan is ready for any investigations India wants to initiate in Pahalgam attack. Pakistan condemned the attack. But later on, of course, they started carrying out air raid on Pakistan, and that air raid on the 9 different locations, there were mosques and the houses adjacent to mosques. As you know, that in Bangladesh and Pakistan, both of the countries, and even in India as well, mosques are built right in the middle of the population, and the houses they were adjacent to the mosque, they were hit. That's why we had 28 of the civilians who gave their lives that day. They were obviously, they got killed just because of one reason, that the air-to-surface missiles, they were used by India against Pakistan. 7 of them, they were kids, and the youngest was 2-year-old. So this was the menace we were dealing against. And of course, the world knows about the kind of dogfight that took place that day. Pakistan pinpointed only the fighter jets that were involved in the air raid, and Pakistan pinpointed, Pakistan locked them, Pakistan shot them, and they were down. And the whole world is talking about it. But now India is, of course, coming up with another statement saying that nothing has happened, and no S-400 was destroyed, and no damage was done by Pakistan. Well, if this was the case, then why India was rushing towards Washington seeking a truce and seeking the role of Rubio, and when it comes to President Trump, India was desperate for that role, and they did play the role, and they contacted Pakistan, and Pakistan said, we were ready since the day one. We didn't want a war at all. We were just there for peace, but nobody was coming towards us for peace. And now when you are asking us to do it, well, we just want to tell you that we have always been seeking peace from Indian side. And if they are ready to sit with us and talk, yes, we are ready as well. So that's why we are seeing that President Trump, I think he has a huge role to play in coming days. And he pledged as well when it comes to talking to Pakistan and India. Trump, he did say that he wants to play a role, a very positive role for the peaceful region, which Pakistan welcomes. But when it comes to India, India keeps on saying that they are not seeking anyone's role.
Well, thank you, Mr. Raja Faisal. I'll come back to you in a bit. Let me get back to Ambassador Mr. Shafiullah. You just heard Mr. Raja Faisal talking about the India-Pakistan escalation that happened earlier in May. Let me give you a breaking news, or it should garner a breaking news comment. Multiple sources confirmed that China and Pakistan in advanced discussions about new regional organization to promote connectivity, trade and political dialogue, largely as a replacement for the destroyed nearly and paralyzed SARC. Of course, in this, Bangladesh does have an alliance which is still not a formal pact, but they were in the discussions between Pakistan and China. The Indian's Chief of Defence Staff recently publicly warned that a tri-nation axis compromising of China, Pakistan and Bangladesh could pose a serious challenge to regional stability. Mr. Shafiullah, you're an ambassador and you have represented Bangladesh in various foreign missions. Where do you think the SARC is going, and do we deserve a new regional cooperation with mentioned countries?
Thank you. SARC was the brainchild of Bangladesh, and from the 1980s, it had successfully held first summit in Dhaka in 1985, and SARC was launched formally. So every 2 years we have the summit successfully. With the time of inception, it was deliberately kept away the political issues, contentious political issues, maybe within 2 countries or 3 countries. That was deliberately kept away. Basically, it was for common issues like flood, cyclone, weather,
Yes.
food security,
Definitely.
etc. like this, because the political boundary and the natural boundaries are not same. When there is a floods from cyclone from Bay of Bengal, it affects India and Bangladesh.
Yes.
It defies the geography, and it also hit Myanmar. Same cyclone hit 3 countries: India, Bangladesh, Myanmar. So these are the one geography for world for the natural calamities. Maybe politically there are 3 countries. So these are the common thing to address. This SARC was evolved, and through this, the founder father thought there will be a regional cooperation, regional understanding, and in the sideline of these summits, the bilateral issues could be discussed by the contending parties or parties that dispute. This is a good mechanism, because in bilateral relations, bilateral visits, there is always optimism what happened, what did not happen. But here, quietly on the sideline, you can discuss your issues. So these are good mechanisms. But for India, they do not accepted it, and they tried every time to very beginning that it is not take a definite shape. But ultimately, it did take shape, and until 2016, 14, I think it went very well. Occasional, of course, there are setbacks, but it did do well. But when the BJP came to power in India 2014, that entire scenario of the subcontinent changed. It took not a political dimension, it took communal dimension, Hindu-Muslim, Hindu-Buddhist, Hindu-Christian, this
Yes.
communal dimension is came. So entire situation became poisonous, and India boycotted going summit in Pakistan. And so was our former Prime Minister, Sheikh Hasina also jumped in the Indian wagon, she also did not go. So that Nepal continued to be the chairman of the summit. So it is though no summit is being held after 2014, but other activities are still going on. And any alliance or regional cooperation is not a substitute to SARC. SARC is a unique geographical entity.
Yes.
So it is a unique thing. India tried to launch BIMSTEC. That is also to serve India's interest. India wanted to have just Northeast joining
With the Bay of Bengal.
Myanmar, Thailand, Bay of Bengal, their brainchild. But Bangladesh supported it because Bangladesh was a member. But the beginning, when BIMSTEC was there, another connotations. So it is not a substitute to SARC. Similarly, any initiative by Pakistan, China is not a regional cooperation or substitute, because China is not in our South Asia region. It is it could be an alliance, no doubt about it. Pakistan and China had a historic, tested alliance.
Well, of course, Pakistan and China are connected by Kashmir as well.
By many accounts, they have a very solid relationship, which help Pakistan, and in many ways to counter India in many ways, because Pakistan has always been historically under pressure of India. So, and it mounted during this BJP government. The alliance, Pakistan and China have a regular discussion on any subject between the two countries. It is their right, and they are the very tested, I should say, tested relationship. The just there was a meeting in Kunming in the sideline of exhibition, where Bangladesh also was there.
Yes.
But you see, it was a first meeting on a sideline. It is not a full meeting for forming an alliance. It is not a regional. Whereas China is not region number one, number two. It is not. It could never be a substitute to SARC. SARC is one entity. There are SCO or many other organizations in the region.
Yes.
Even the motor vehicle thing also, sub-regional cooperation, BIMSTEC also. They are not substitute each other, but they are maybe a common membership with both the groupings. So for Bangladesh, it is not the time to enter into any alliance or any grouping, because it is interim government. We are having elections in February to April.
Hopefully, yes.
April. So naturally, this government cannot enter into any such alliance or grouping at this juncture of Bangladesh position. So it is a thing to future, but it could be many associations. India deliberately kept Pakistan away, China away from BIMSTEC. So there could be many organizations which kept maybe an organization in the region, barring India. That is future. That would not know what will happen. But as of now, Bangladesh is not a time for Bangladesh to join in any associations.
That is definitely most insightful of you to comment on Bangladesh's current standing with the countries that we mentioned.
We are not in a position now.
Sir, allow me to take a step out of our region. We'll look at Ukraine and the Russia escalation. Recently, Giorgia Meloni hosted the 4th Ukraine Recovery Conference in Rome, where over 10 billion in pledges from the Europe and Western partners were secured. Meloni has firmly positioned Italy as a central figure in political and financial support for Ukraine. Her approach combines economic incentives, military assistance, and global peace diplomacy. Right now, we see the war prolonging much over 3.5 years, with multiple casualties on both sides. The United Nations Human Rights Monitoring Mission in Ukraine said that last month, June, saw the highest monthly civilian casualties in 3 years, with 232 people killed and over 1,300 people injured. My question to Mr. Shafiullah once more, what is your remark on this non-stop war?
You see, you mentioned some figure, because they are white people, Western people. That's why that figure came. What happened in Gaza? How many people killed by Israel recent year? It's more than 50,000. More than 50,000 innocent women, children, and Palestinians were killed, and still killing every day. But it is not news in the world, because they are not white, they are not Christian. It's a world, ultimately it is a religion comes in ultimately. Now the question is in Ukraine.
Yes, Ukraine, Russia,
Ukraine,
and
Ukraine is a sovereign country. Russia is a sovereign country. Yes. Now Russia initially took one country in 2014, one part of Ukraine, and now there are other 4 regions they have already grabbed it. Now the Ukraine is fighting to get back that old lost territory, which was a sovereign country, and other even countries are also afraid Russia might take on them after one by one, because if the Ukraine is the last barrier or first barrier, if Ukraine fall to Russia, other countries will fall.
There's Poland, there's Hungary as well. The European bloc is all scared.
They are all small countries. They one by one they cannot withstand Russia. Russia is still the though not a distant number 2 world power, but they have the largest stockpile of atomic arsenals in the world, highest number. So the current status is this President Trump gradually withdrawing from NATO support because he says Europe must defend itself. Europe must pay for its own defense. They must pay for it. America cannot pay the amount now they have been paying. That is the thing. Trump did it in his first term, now it is more on second term. So Europe is now looking for its own security beyond NATO. That means France and Britain, they took initiative to a coalition of willingness, or what they call it, coalition of willings, means the European countries will try to evolve a structure parallel to NATO or like NATO to defend itself from Russia. So they had a talk, both the countries. Now recently, the France president paid a state visit to Britain, which is very, it happened many years in the history of both countries.
Yes.
So that is a very significant development in European security. That is the France president paying a state visit to UK.
UK, yes.
Yeah, so this is one dimension evolving. Second thing is this, although Trump said he will gradually came out of NATO, but here now he said that he will be supporting Ukraine through NATO, and he has committed weapons through Norway, a NATO member, or other countries, including maybe the air defense system also. So this is the America is doing it now. USA is not directly coming to clash with Russia, which is very something to watch. Why? Question is why you can bomb Iran 1,000 miles away from you. Iran did no harm to America, but still bombed Iran, a sovereign country. So here, most of the European countries are allied to USA.
Yes.
Historically, why you are not going to bomb Russia? See, this is the difference, because Russia can take on America on the same footing.
Well, thank you, Mr. Shafiullah. That was definitely very informative coming from you regarding the Ukraine-Russia war. We're now connected back with Pakistan's Mr. Raja Faisal. My question remaining in our dominion, Pakistan airspace is still banned to various carriers from India up until July 24th of this month. As you know, India suspended the SARC visa exemption scheme for Pakistani citizens, cancelled visas, closed key trade routes like the Atari-Wagah trade route, and Pakistan responded by downgrading diplomatic ties. Both actions escalated the economic and diplomatic standoff. My question to Mr. Raja Faisal, how do you see the coming weeks between India and Pakistan, and where do you think this shall end?
Connection
We seem to be having a problem with our connection. Mr. Faisal, are you with us?
Yes, I am with
Okay.
you, and I could grab. It was all related to SARC, maybe, and
Yes.
when it comes to the airspace, I just to save your time. When it comes to India being the biggest country in the region, SARC region, I must say, I think India had more role to play, a positive role to play. But when it comes to Modi regime, as soon as the Modi regime took power in New Delhi, we saw a tendency of India of just getting away from SARC. Though SARC is an excellent forum, SARC is a beautiful forum in which, of course, all of these countries like Bhutan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Nepal, all of the Maldives, they want to play its role for the regional security and regional cooperation. But when it comes to bullying of Indians towards the smaller nations, we know they have been, bullying Nepal, they have been bullying Bhutan. Now they are bullying Sri Lanka. They have been bullying you as well, and they bullied us as well. You remember February 2019, they tried to bully us. Of course, we gave them a befitting reply. This time around as well, we gave them a befitting reply. Reason being, they want to police this region. They want to be, I mean, as we say in our culture, we say thanedar. Thanedar is someone who's the SHO of the police station. So SHO of police, they want to be SHO of this region. We won't allow India to be an SHO of this region. Yes, India is a big country. Yes, India's economy is massive and it can benefit the region, but only through the positive diplomacy rather than being a spoiler. India is just trying to be a spoiler towards the smaller nation. India needs to fix itself. India needs to revive its old diplomatic channels, its old diplomatic stance towards the other nations in the region. And this is where the problem lies. I think SAARC is a brilliant forum and it needs to be revived. If India doesn't want to be part of it for now, fair enough. But rest of the countries, they have to be part of it. But when it comes to China, China wants to play its role. China wants to play its role alongside Pakistan and Bangladesh and Sri Lanka. It wants to have that kind of role where all of these countries, they can have a good cooperation amongst each other.
Mr. Raja
if
Faisal,
India wants to be part of it,
Mr. Raja Faisal, we do take your comments to our studios. Of course, we are running out of time, but thank you for complimenting our studios with your valuable insights. Last question to Mr. Shafiullah, very quickly. Progressively, we are in the 12th month of the interim government, and in my opinion, elected governance is needed to run a stable economy in the coming years. How do you see us as a nation to arrive at such a goal? Very quickly, sir.
Well, election is a part of democracy, a transition of power only. It is not itself a democracy. Democracy, Bangladesh, it did not take root, and now because of the system structure of the governance, now there is an effort to reform some of the basic structure of the government. Once it is done, election could take place. No doubt election is needed, but it is not the only thing to run a country. So we wish first that some structural reforms are needed at first, then it could be followed by elections.
Thank you so much, Ambassador Shafiullah, and of course, Mr. Norman Floyd Barnes, and also Mr. Raja Faisal. I thank you all, gentlemen, for your valuable insights and sincere contributions to our International Affairs talk show. Ladies and gentlemen, as I draw closer, today is 13th July 2025. This day in history, the first FIFA World Cup began in Uruguay in 1930, which marked the start of one of the biggest global sports tournaments. In addition, today is traditionally believed to be the birth date of Roman general and leader Julius Caesar. And that's it for today. We shall be back with the most discerning news in tomorrow's installation of International Affairs. Have a good day.